And before I turn to questions, I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office. From President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy.
When we talk about sightings, we're talking about objects that have been seen by Navy or Air Force pilots or have been picked up by satellite imagery that frankly engage in actions that are difficult to explain, that movements that are hard to replicate, that we don't have the technology for, or traveling at speeds that exceed the sound barrier without a sonic boom. So in short, things that we are observing that are difficult to explain.
Today, United States White House officials gave a long-awaited update regarding the UFO drones that have been spotted over multiple American cities in recent months. According to the official statement, these drones were approved by the Federal Aviation Administration to fly for research purposes. However, many have raised questions about the true nature of these flights, with some suggesting that the government may not be revealing the full story. One of the most debated aspects of the announcement is the suspicious timing of these drones appearing in the same areas where unidentified aerial phenomena have been reported. Over the last year, hundreds of eyewitnesses have captured videos and photographs of strange orb-like objects moving through the skies with no visible means of propulsion. These orbs, often described as silvery white spheres, have been spotted hovering motionlessly, traveling at incredible speeds, and even appearing to react intelligently to their surroundings. Many believe these objects are not of human origin, and that their sudden increase in activity over US cities warranted an immediate response from the government. The newly released Federal Aviation Administration approved drone program suggests that two separate things may have been happening at the same time. First, there is the possibility that the orbs were already in the skies before any government involvement. Second, the US military or intelligence agencies may have deployed their own drones to observe and interact with these unknown craft. If this is the case, then it raises an even more alarming question. Why did officials feel the need to send drones up to observe these unidentified objects? In the last few weeks, at least two separate videos have surfaced showing drones attempting to get close to the orbs, only to be suddenly disabled and falling to the ground. These videos, recorded by independent observers, have sparked intense discussions about what exactly these orbs are capable of and whether they pose a serious technological advantage over anything humans currently possess. Some researchers have pointed out that these objects seem to possess an electromagnetic field that interferes with the drone's electronic systems, causing them to malfunction mid-flight. Others suggest that these incidents are evidence that the orbs are actively defending themselves or reacting in a way that suggests an advanced intelligence behind their movements. For years, the government has largely avoided giving direct explanations for UAP encounters, often citing national security concerns or a lack of sufficient data. However, the fact that officials today admitted that the Federal Aviation Administration approved drones were deployed in the same airspace as these unidentified orbs suggests that the government is taking this issue far more seriously than they have publicly acknowledged before. If these were just simple research drones, why have they been deployed in locations known for unusual aerial activity, and why have they been observed being disabled by unknown forces? Another aspect of the official update that has raised eyebrows is the claim that the drones were simply conducting research. The word research is vague and does not clarify what kind of data was being collected or what specific findings have been made from these flights. Were the drones equipped with thermal imaging, electromagnetic sensors, or radar detection systems to analyze the orbs? In the past, government agencies have been accused of hiding information related to UAP encounters, particularly when military pilots reported their own sightings of these objects interfering with operations. The fact that officials are now acknowledging that government-approved drones have been involved in direct encounters with unidentified objects is a major development. If these drones were dispatched specifically to interact with or track the movements of the orbs, then the implications of this event could be far more significant than what is being publicly admitted. Many are now demanding that the government release all available footage and data from these drone flights, especially if they were actively engaging with unidentified aerial objects. If classified information exists regarding the nature of these encounters, there is a growing call for disclosure, as the public deserves to know what is flying above their cities and whether these objects pose a threat or not. The situation is eerily similar to past incidents where military pilots have reported their aircraft being outmaneuvered or even interfered with by UFOs. If the Federal Aviation Administration approved drones are now being disabled in mid-air, this suggests that these objects possess capabilities far beyond conventional technology. Are these advanced surveillance crafts operated by an unknown intelligence, or is something more mysterious at play? For now, the official government stance remains that these drones were only conducting research, but the growing number of videos and reports showing their direct encounters with the orbs suggest otherwise. The truth behind these interactions is still unclear, but one thing is certain: there is more happening in our skies than we are being told. The next steps will be crucial. If the Federal Aviation Administration and US officials continue to investigate these encounters, they must be fully transparent about their findings. The public deserves answers, and with the increasing availability of high-quality videos and whistleblower testimonies, it is becoming harder for authorities to keep these events hidden. As more footage emerges and independent researchers analyze these encounters, one question remains unanswered: who or what is operating these mysterious orbs, and why are they disabling our technology? If today's government update was an attempt to downplay the seriousness of these incidents, it may have had the opposite effect. More people than ever are now paying attention, asking questions, and demanding the truth about what is happening in our skies. Despite recent government statements regarding the UFO drones observed over multiple locations in the United States, many people remain unconvinced by the official explanations. These unidentified aerial phenomena do not match any known conventional aircraft, nor do they exhibit characteristics typical of drones that are publicly acknowledged by military or commercial sources. What makes these objects particularly mysterious is that they appear to have no visible means of propulsion, yet they are capable of incredible maneuvers that defy the capabilities of even the most advanced human-made aircraft. For years, governments and military agencies have struggled to provide concrete answers regarding the presence of UAPs. These objects have been captured on military radar, surveillance cameras, and even by trained fighter pilots who have reported their impossible movements firsthand. The most perplexing detail is that these drones show no signs of traditional engines, exhaust systems, or rotor blades, features that are essential for any known aircraft to function. This has led many to believe that whatever these objects are, they represent technology far beyond what is currently understood. Eyewitnesses, including both civilians and military personnel, have described these UFO drones as spherical, metallic, or orb-like, often appearing to hover motionlessly in the sky before accelerating at unimaginable speeds. In several recorded instances, they have been observed making instantaneous directional changes without any visible means of thrust or lift, something that would be impossible for any conventional drone or aircraft. These characteristics have led some researchers to suggest that these objects might be utilizing a propulsion system that does not rely on combustion or aerodynamic lift, but rather an exotic technology such as anti-gravity or electromagnetic propulsion. One of the most puzzling aspects of the recent UFO drone sightings is that they have been observed interacting with conventional aircraft, including US military drones. In some cases, military-approved drones were reportedly deployed to monitor these unidentified objects, only for the drones to mysteriously malfunction and fall from the sky. There are at least 2 known videos showing what appears to be an unknown orb disabling a government drone in mid-air, leading to speculation that these objects possess the ability to interfere with electronic systems. This suggests that the intelligence behind these objects, whether human or otherwise, may have defensive or observational capabilities beyond anything currently disclosed to the public. The absence of clear communication from US officials about what these objects truly are has only fueled public skepticism. While authorities claim that some of these drone flights have been Federal Aviation Administration approved for research purposes, they have not addressed the growing evidence that points to the presence of anomalous aerial objects operating in the same airspace. If these UFO drones were simply part of a classified military program, it would be expected that at least some information about their origin and purpose would eventually be disclosed. However, the lack of any clear ownership over these craft raises the possibility that they are not under US control at all. The history of unexplained aerial objects interacting with military installations is extensive. Reports of UFOs hovering over nuclear missile sites, aircraft carriers, and restricted airspace have been documented for decades, often involving descriptions of objects that mirror the characteristics of these recently observed drones. Some former government officials and military insiders have even suggested that these sightings are not new, but rather part of a long-running phenomenon that has only now become more visible due to the proliferation of cameras and tracking technology. Another important factor in the discussion is the global nature of these sightings. The United States is not the only country that has reported encounters with unidentified aerial objects. Similar sightings of spherical or orb-like craft with no visible means of propulsion have been reported in Europe, South America, and Asia, often in proximity to military sites, research facilities, or nuclear reactors. If these objects are not exclusive to US airspace, it raises the possibility that they are part of an unknown intelligence that is monitoring or surveying human activities on a global scale. Some independent researchers and former intelligence officials have argued that if these drones were part of an adversarial nation's technology, they would likely have been identified and addressed as a security threat long ago. Given the high level of US aerial surveillance and defense capabilities, it is unlikely that any foreign nation could repeatedly send unidentified drones into sensitive airspace without being intercepted or challenged. The fact that these objects remain unidentified, despite being observed over multiple locations, suggests that they may not belong to any known government or military organization on Earth. As the debate continues, there is growing pressure on officials to provide greater transparency regarding these objects. If they truly pose no national security threat, why are they not being openly studied and explained? If they do represent a potential technological or intelligence advantage for another entity, why has there been no official acknowledgement of their significance? The lack of clear answers has left many to believe that the government either knows more than it is willing to share, or is just as puzzled as the public about what these objects actually are. What remains clear is that these UFO drones are not behaving like anything that has been publicly acknowledged in modern aerospace technology. Their silent operation, lack of propulsion, and ability to disable conventional drones suggest an advanced level of engineering that defies current understanding.